I get it, so many cameras look amazing on the web page, but when you actually pull them out of the box they end up feeling like a compromise. You're staring at glossy photos, a list of specs that sound like marketing jargon, and suddenly you're wondering if you'll waste weeks of shooting time because the workflow is a nightmare. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. That hesitation is real, especially when the price tag is high enough to make you double-check every claim before you hand over your credit card. The Blackmagic Design Pocket Cinema Camera 6K G2 Power Bundle tries to answer those doubts by bundling the camera with 2 extra NPF 570 batteries, a dual battery charger, and a SolidSignal microfiber cloth. The idea is simple: give you the power you need to stay out shooting all day and a quick way to keep the sensor spotless. But does the bundle actually solve the everyday pain points that indie filmmakers and serious YouTubers face? Or does it just add a few more accessories you'll end up storing in a drawer? First, let's talk about why the Pocket 6K G2 gets a lot of buzz. The incredible image quality claim isn't just hype. The Super 35 sensor paired with a 6K resolution lets you capture footage that still looks sharp when you downscale to 4K, which is a common workflow for online content. The dynamic range is generous enough to keep highlight detail in bright outdoor shoots while still pulling shadow detail in low-light interiors. In practice, I've seen creators use this camera for everything from a sunrise time-lapse on a rooftop to a candlelit interview in a cramped kitchen, and the footage retains a cinematic look without needing heavy color grading in post. One of the most practical strengths of the G2 version is the expanded recording options. It supports Blackmagic RAW and ProRes across a range of codecs, meaning you can pick a format that matches the speed of your editing rig. If you have a solid-state drive that writes at 300 megabytes per second, you can push Blackmagic RAW at higher bit rates for the best quality. If your computer struggles with RAW, you can drop down to ProRes 422 LT and still get a clean image that plays back smoothly in Premiere or DaVinci Resolve. The flexibility is a real time saver because you won't have to re-encode footage just to get it into your timeline. The bundle's 2 spare batteries and charger address a very specific frustration: the Pocket's native battery life. Even with the G2's slightly improved efficiency, you're looking at roughly 45 minutes of continuous shooting on a single charge when you're recording in 6K RAW. That's fine for a short run-and-gun piece, but if you're on a documentary shoot or a multi-hour event, you'll be swapping batteries every half hour. Having 2 additional batteries means you can keep shooting while one charges, and the dual charger cuts down the downtime dramatically. In real-world use, I've seen crews rig the camera on a shoulder mount, attach a battery plate, and keep a spare in a belt pouch. The ability to swap without pulling the camera off the rig is a small but meaningful ergonomic win. Now, let's be honest about the hidden trade-offs. The Pocket 6K G2 doesn't have any built-in ND filters, which means you'll need an external matte box or a variable ND filter to control exposure in bright daylight without cranking the ISO. That adds extra gear and cost, and it also makes the camera a bit bulkier on a gimbal. Speaking of ISO, while the dual native ISO offers great low-light performance, you still have to manage the sensor's heat. The camera can get warm after extended 6K recording, and you'll notice a slight roll-off in the highlights if you push it for more than 30 minutes straight without a proper cooling solution. That's something a lot of buyers overlook because they focus on the image quality numbers rather than the thermal envelope. Another practical weakness is storage. The camera records to external USB-C SSDs, and at 6K RAW you're looking at roughly 300 megabytes per second. That translates to about 1 terabyte of footage for just a few hours of shooting. If you're not already running a workflow that includes fast external drives and a high-capacity backup strategy, you'll find yourself scrambling for storage space. It's not a flaw in the camera itself, but it's a cost and logistical factor that can bite you if you're used to compact SD cards. Who should buy this bundle? If you're an indie filmmaker who already has a post-production pipeline, that can handle high-resolution RAW, you'll appreciate the image fidelity and codec flexibility. It's also a solid fit for YouTubers who want a cinematic look for travel vlogs, product demos, or narrative shorts, provided they are comfortable managing external SSDs and battery swaps. The inclusion of the extra batteries and charger makes the bundle especially valuable for on-location shoots where power outlets are scarce. And because the camera's UI is genuinely user-friendly, touchscreen menus, easy clip naming, and straightforward media management, you won't waste time learning a new system mid-project.